What is going on, friends? Welcome into Sports from the Couch and the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. We are here live at the nursery studio as a very interesting story came down the wire. And I wanted to hit on this because this really took not only the NBA basketball world by storm, this took nostalgia. This took everybody by storm. This is from Awful Announcing. New details emerge about Michael Jordan's role with NBA on NBC. That's right. You saw the news. Everybody was talking about it. MJ is now back, will be part of the revamp of NBA on NBC. I mean, they are going all out from the analysts are bringing in for the post-game, the pre-game show, the people they're bringing in to call the games, and of course, even bringing back the old school theme song that we all know and love. But a lot of questions have been coming out of what exactly is the role of Michael Jordan going to be? How involved is he going to be? Is he going to call games? Will he be just from Zoom in his mansion with a cigar in his mouth? Will he be at the golf course? What will it be to see Michael Jordan now part of the media game again? So this is what Awful Announcing has. NBC is leaning hard into 90s nostalgia. And if that means bringing in Michael Jordan as a, quote, special contributor, so be it. And this is written by Liam McGuire. Jordan has famously kept his distance from the media, sticking to his, quote, Republicans buy sneakers too approach by steering clear of controversy. That doesn't seem likely to change now, as Ben Axelrod noted in Awful Announcing's newsletter. The A block is Michael Jeffrey Jordan really about to start doing media? Will he be a studio analyst, a voice in pre-recorded segments, or perhaps Jordan will give the broadcast booth a shot following Tom Brady's lead? We don't have all the answers just yet, but Puck's John Alran provided some insight into Jordan's role as a, quote, special contributor in his newsletter. While details are still scarce, Alran suggests we should expect Jordan to be a regular studio presence every week. That should offer some clarity about Jordan's new role. It seems likely he'll appear in the studio as an analyst, joining the likes of Carmelo Anthony. That doesn't mean Jordan won't occasionally join a broadcast or step in for special events, but it doesn't appear to be a full-time gig. Not that anybody expected it to be, but at least there's some clarity around his, quote, special role. NBC is clearly banking on Jordan's star power, even if bringing in that kind of gravity might come at the expense of a few entertainment jobs. So, and you can check out the entire article over at Awful Announcing. New details emerge about Michael Jordan's role with NBA on NBC. And there's so many things that go down this road, right? Like, first of all, I think Tom Brady really opened up the door for MJ. Hell, I think Omaha Productions with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, when they do their broadcasts, I think that has really been a not just a door opening, but like just a huge hole for allow anybody that has that type of gravity to do something like that, especially if they're committed. That's the one thing, like sitting here, let's take a step back. Everybody that's a sports fan has at one point or another put the game on mute and called the game. Whether they're on the baseball field with their friends or playing on the pavements or on the rink, they've called the game in their head. We all think that we can do sports radio for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, that we could call the World Series or a World Heavyweight Championship fight in boxing. The truth of the matter is it takes work, just like anything else. From what you may think is the most mundane job in everyday life to the most complex job of heart surgeon, it takes work, dedication, and practice. So media is the same thing. And if you're going to be somebody like, let's say, Gil's Arena, or you're going to be some of these, All the Smoke, or what Club Shay Shay is, or what Pat McAfee have done, you have to be all in on it. You have to work hard. You have to be part of the grind. Because it's easy to put on a microphone and a camera and do this, and you get a huge wave of audience because you're famous, because people want to hear you talk, because you played the game, whatever game that was. If you were a commentator, if you're the best Halo Call of Duty player, for God's sake, you start a podcast, people in that industry are going to watch you. But what happens is, if you're not consistent, if you don't show growth, if you don't put in the time and effort, your audience Not just people in industry, but your audience sees it. And they drop off because there's so much parody. There's so much product out there for people to consume. So bringing in Jordan to this, you have to think he's going to be all in, that he's going to want to be great at this as well. You saw how Tom Brady was brought in and the reaction towards him. But credit to where credit's due. I think Tom Brady is going to try to be a great commentator, play-by-play, going to try to be a great analyst, going to try to be a great face for Fox, a great interviewer, a great spokesperson. I think Tom Brady, the competitive person in him, is going to make him want to do that. Same thing for Jordan. I think Jordan is going to try to be entertaining, insightful, have some perspective. I don't think Jordan is going to talk a lot of trash. I think Jordan has the best of both worlds in this situation. The Last Dance has already come out, has been memed, is now part of not just basketball, NBA, sports, but pop culture lore. So we all know the story, and people have already decided if he's the GOAT or not the GOAT. People have decided if they're going to let anybody into that conversation. So Michael doesn't need to sit there and say he's better than Anthony Edwards or that he would have done X, Y, or Z against Michael Jordan Jr. in Anthony Edwards or LeBron or Luka. He doesn't have to do that. Other people will do that for him. So he gets to praise and bring along the new generation of basketball while still having people put him and hold him in the highest of all highs of pedestal as the greatest of all time. It's a perfect scenario for Michael. This also, along with Carmelo Anthony and Candace Parker and all these different people that are being brought in to call games and to be part of this show, post-game, pre-game, Jordan Brand, constantly being out there, still being part of the conversation in 2025. Michael Jordan hasn't won a championship since 1998. I was 8 years old, 35 now. And that man is still king of the castle. This is just more of that, another flag to be planted. I think he will bring a lot to the conversation. How can he not? He is one of the greatest to ever do it. I don't think it will be uncensored, unfiltered, these crazy snipe assassin moments that people think he's going to have. I think we know how competitive he is, but I think that competitiveness is going to be into being great at the craft. I think this is something the league wants, to have somebody like Jordan help be positive about the league. The best show in all of sports studios is Inside the NBA. And the biggest criticism for the biggest show that is Inside the NBA is Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq being too negative about the league. And you see EJ, who's the godfather of the best in the industry, do his best to try to corral and keep things on a positive note. But that's not what the vibe is. That's not what the perception is. The perception of the league is the old heads talk down about the new generation, about the way the game is played. It is the only sport where most of the conversation is negative about the way it's played from the old generation to the new generation. Baseball has kind of grown so old that era of player is kind of gone. It's already been taken over by the sabermetrics, by the nerds, if you will. And it's such a quick turnaround. The NFL's turnaround is so crazy, but nobody talks negatively about the NFL. It's the number one sport in the country. It's beloved. Nobody's going to say anything of it. The NBA, nobody loves more. No fandom, no sports fandom loves to talk about its sport more in a negative or debate type of way than the NBA. So having Michael Jordan come in to this new reboot of NBA on NBC and be an arbiter, an advocate for this era of basketball is the ultimate gift the owners and these TV companies have wanted. These streaming services have been dying for. The stamp of approval from the greatest of all time. And now everybody gets to eat at the table. Because now Michael Jordan's going to be in the forefront. So the debate shows get what they want. The sports radio shows get what they want. These shows like this get what we want. So do you. You get the entertainment aspect. And we get a little bit of interest of the new presentation of a beloved channel coming back to a sport that kind of has these relationships that almost seem symbiotic, that is the NBA on NBC. So I think this is a great story in the sense of it's going to be fascinating, interesting, and a lot of fun for everybody involved, all the way from the players and the league to us who get to watch it. But we want to know your thoughts. Let us know. Leave a comment down below. We're on YouTube at the Sports Cubicle. Make sure you guys subscribe to us there. What do you think about Michael Jordan joining NBA on NBC? Make sure you guys are also checking out the podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcast, at Sports from the Couch and on WCPT 820's The Sports Cubicle. Check us out there every Sunday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. As long as you're there as well. Please check us out over at Bear Era. It is NFL season. If you want more NFL talk, if you are craving some NFL goodness after the NFL schedule has been dropped, give us a follow. Follow us over at Bear Era. It's myself, Kieran Hall from the Irish Bear Show, and EJ Snyder from Bootleg Football, breaking it all down with some of the biggest and best names in the industry covering the sports. But this is going to be fun. We'll see how this all plays out for Michael Jordan on NBA on NBC. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch and the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.